Hi everyone, my name is Hadel-Lynn. I am currently a nursing student living in Boston. I finally decided to release a video talking about how much I spend as a student living here in Boston. I think like a year or two ago I talked about how much I spent living in Boston when I was employed, and now that I'm not, now that I'm a student, I feel like I want to kind of talk about that unique perspective that I have because I worked full time for 3 years before transitioning to go back to school and not having regular full time income. So, for more Boston related content, check out the playlist up above and make sure to give this video a like and subscribe. And with that, let's get started. We are going to break down how much I spend basically like in a month living in Boston as a student in relation to rent, utilities, food, transportation, loans, and probably whatever else doesn't fit in those categories. I want to preface by saying that my expenses are going to be very different from like the traditional students, and so that's why I didn't kind of want to title this video like how much an average student spends. So just keep that in mind if you choose to move here because everyone's financial situation is extremely different. Also, I'm really sorry if I'm talking really fast and quiet. It's because of the fact that one, there's like so many planes flying around me. Two, in the background, every summer the Commons has this event where it's Shakespeare in the park, which is really cute. I highly recommend it. Practicing in the background, and so there's awkward silences where like they won't do anything and then like the music will play, so that's why I'm kind of like talking really fast, but it's fine. The first thing to talk about is rent. Thanks to inflation, no matter where you are in the US, the most expensive thing that you're going to pay no matter what your financial circumstances is rent. And I'm going to be upfront, Boston is very notorious for its rent prices, and because they are so expensive and it keeps going up. I live in electricity alone and I spend about $3,000 a month. Is that normal for a student to pay? No. But when I first moved here, it was because of COVID. This apartment was $2,000 a month, and I haven't left because I got kind of grandfathered into like a thing where like my rent doesn't increase to the level of the market value that it should be. But I'm moving soon, so now that doesn't matter for me. At the time I moved, I had a full-time job and I had zero student loans. If you want to cut on your costs, obviously get roommates, live further out. I would say Fenway is probably one of the most expensive areas to live, especially like close to like the hospitals or like close to Fenway Park and stuff, because there's a lot of like colleges further down that way. And obviously a lot of college students want to live there because of proximity. So if you want to live further out, really do your research. If you want to know more about like apartment hunting, I have a video called Apartment Hunting in Boston and it's listed right up above. So check it out. I'm going to be upfront and tell you that like I'm really grateful that I am currently in a financial situation where my family has been helping me pay my rent throughout my 16-month program. And this is not a situation that everyone has access to, and I want to be transparent about that.
Ring the bell for Earl of Sandwich. And ring it
If you're not in
only
this.
Earl of Sandwich.
In terms of utilities, I pay for my phone plan and electricity because all the other bills are already included in my rent, which is very nice. So I'm currently on a family plan in terms of my phone, and I spend about $32 a month. And in terms of electricity, I notice that this amount kind of varies. So it can be like 30 to 60 bucks a month through Eversource, depending on the season. It's obviously higher during the holidays and the summers, and it could be higher depending on if you live in an older apartment. So really keep that in mind. Boston is really known for its like old school kind of charm, and in order for it to keep that old school kind of charm, it doesn't update a lot of its apartments to modern standards in terms of like plumbing and whatnot. So that's really key to think about and when you're looking for an apartment in Boston, just because your utilities rate might vary. And then in terms of transportation, I pay the full monthly costs of the Charlie card, which is the, transit card that lets you get on, the T, which is like, the red line, the orange line, blue line, silver line, all the buses, which haven't really been too much of a problem for me, to be quite honest, except the fact that like it seems like every day that like the T is like shut down for like a random reason, but that's besides the point. I pay the full monthly cost, which is $90 a month. If you are between the ages 18 to 25, you could be eligible for a discounted Charlie card if you are unqualified through financial means, or your school could also be part of a discounted program, so really take advantage of that. In addition, there's a lot of part-time jobs actually that include in their benefits discounted or free transit subsidies, so really take that into account. Now let's talk about food. I like food. I feel like I've been spending a lot more on food while I've been in my 16-month program compared to when I used to work full time. When I used to work full time, I was barely going out. I was very frugal during my 3 years working full time. And then all of a sudden, when I hit my 16-month program, that just kind of went out the window maybe in my second semester. Keep in mind that the cost of food has increased and probably the quality has decreased thanks to inflation. So pre-inflation, I used to spend maybe like $100 to $150 a month on groceries, and now that amount has like skyrocketed to maybe at least 200 a month for probably less groceries and less quality. And I've been eating out a lot more, maybe like once a week or so. But I would say that's like a good 50 to 150 a month, depending on how often I eat out and what I get. I've been studying a lot more at coffee shops to be productive just because my productivity has been going down, especially because I've been selling off my furniture and, it's kind of hard to study at home when you don't really have a table or a bed. I'm in the last stretch of my program and my senioritis is really kicking in, and I also like treating myself out once a month, so there are times I just also want to catch up with friends, and that also costs money because we get drinks, we get food, we travel around, blah blah blah. So yeah, that amount just really varies. Now let's talk about fitness. This is an optional cost, but I spend about $119 a month on a yoga studio where I take unlimited classes through multiple locations. Obviously, there are cheaper options for fitness, but for me, my fitness journey is incredibly important for me, especially because I work in the healthcare industry where I've learned preventative care is a lot more cost effective and more beneficial for your health compared to like treatment. And plus, I'm in a situation where I can honestly like afford it. I will say really good gyms out here are like a minimum $100 a month if you are considering it. Also, fun fact, a lot of gyms close really early. Boston overall closes at like 1 in the morning, but gyms now I would say kind of close around like 8 or 10. Even it really depends on the gym. It's just the quality of the gyms is kind of vary depending on where you go. And so if your school already has a fitness subsidy already included or like a gym already there, just use that one because honestly, it's more cost effective. You're already paying for it. Don't shell out more money that you don't have as a student. Now, let's talk about loans because I'm on them in order to pay for my program. So I'm lucky that my school has paid about 45% of my program through scholarships provided by the school. I currently have about $25,000 in federal loans and a little less than $20,000 in private loans right now. On a monthly basis, I would say I pay maybe about $500 to $1,000 a month towards my loans. Now, a better question is how the hell am I able to afford this? The answer to this question is I initially started out with way more private loans. At the time, I didn't know I was going to get as much scholarships as I did. I would say initially when I first started my program, I got a $30,000 merit scholarship, and then I want to say halfway in my program, I got another $10K scholarship through a grant provided by the school. And because of these scholarships, it really helped pay off like my private loans. I had way more, and I recently picked up a part-time PCA job where I work nights on the weekend specifically. So because of the night shift and weekend shift differential like combined, the money is money. Like I make about $250 a shift, which is really good for a part-time job, honestly, where like I only work one 12-hour shift a week. In addition, like my dad is a veteran and I have a stipend for living costs as a dependent, which I have also used towards paying off my loans aggressively. This ranges depending like $800, $1,400 a month, depending like how long my semester is, and this has really been a lifesaver. I've also been using some of my earnings from YouTube towards paying off my loans, so thank you to all my subscribers and people who've been watching me. And I've been actually selling off a lot of my stuff because I am moving after this program. Like, it's July right now and I'm moving in a month. And then of course lastly, before I started my nursing program, I had a good amount of money saved up from my full-time job, and because of the fact that I didn't have loans from my first degree. Now obviously these costs are very much variable each month. My goal of this video is to be as transparent as possible for my situation so that maybe it helps you estimate what your situation could be as a student. I just figured that this video could be helpful as more students are going to be getting ready to move in when September 1st hits, because that is when students move in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave a comment below. With that, I wish you all a very, well, it's not nighttime, so I can't really say I wish you all a very good night, but like have a good day.